If you ask somebody for their top 10 anime, Attack on Titan is almost guaranteed to be on that list if they enjoy shonen whatsoever. But is Attack on Titan really that great of a series? With the final part of the final season coming out in March, I decided there's no better time than to rewatch the whole series and look at it as a whole. Is Attack on Titan really that great of a series? Let's find out. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Let's get straight into it. Attack on Titan begins, and it begins in a truly amazing way. It shows us the future foreshadowing. In the beginning scenes, Eren is having a dream of the future. And after this happens, we get character building. This is my favorite aspect of anime, building characters, because what is the point of having so many different characters if we don't care about them? And Attack on Titan builds characters in the beginning absolutely perfect. The series starts with Eren and Mikasa chopping wood. They go home and Mikasa tells Eren's father and mother about Eren's desire to join the Scouts. The Scouts, an organization who's fighting for humanity's freedom to find what's outside of the walls. I mean, it's telling this amazing story and it's building these characters. We see just from the beginning how close Mikasa and Eren are. We're shown Eren's dad telling Eren that he'll show him what's in the basement after he comes back, which adds mystery to the series. And most importantly, we see when Mikasa, Armin, and Eren are together, they show the calm, how the city, they show the tranquility, mothers playing with their children, people living their daily lives. Everything is in complete utter peace. And then boom, lightning strikes and the colossal titan shows and kicks the wall down. Chaos, titans flood in, eat people. And we're thrown into this spiral. Eren's rushing home to see what happened to his family. He finds his mom under rubble and he tries to save his mom, but unfortunately for him, he's just a child. What can a child do? Lift up rubble? An adult can't even do that, let alone a child. Eren's mother knows the reality of the situation. You can see it on her face. Half her body, her legs are crushed. She is going to die. And Hannes comes in. And this is where everything, I just love how this is shown. It truly shows how it is in these chaotic situations. Nobody knows what's happening. Hannes decides to fight the Titan, and then he realizes something. I'm just an adult man, right? And I'm trying to fight a Titan that's probably like 10 feet tall. What am I doing? And he decides to go back and save the children instead, because that has a 100% success rate most likely. Him fighting the Titan, we see later on these Titans are vicious, right? They kill people like it's nothing, even trained individuals like it is nothing. There is no chance for him to win, and he realized that. But unfortunately for Eren, he had to witness his mother be ate alive by a Titan. And we feel this just in episode 1. You feel a connection with Eren. You feel remorse for him. His mother that he loved so much got ate right in front of him by a Titan, and there was nothing he could do about it. What an amazing start to an anime. We're then shown the transition from Eren, Mikasa, and Armin moving from the outer wall to the inner wall and how this affects their life. You get a time skip here, but we see the general outlook of the situation. Everybody is in dismay. We have military members losing their cool, not really caring about other people, going as far as to beat people for disrespecting them. The government is in haywire. Everything is messed up. But Eren has one goal. And that goal is to get revenge on the people that wronged him, to get revenge on these Titans. His one goal now is to join the military, to join the Scouts and fight for freedom for humanity, to fight against these Titans that ate his mother and killed all the people that he knew. This is the catalyst for Eren's revenge. Eren joins the training corps. This is where we find out Eren's true determination. Even with the major setbacks he faced in the training corps, Eren still triumphed in the end. And most importantly, this is where we're introduced to the most important characters in the series. I'm talking about Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, Sasha, Historia, so many different characters that all play an integral role in the story. Fast forward to their graduation and the Colossal Titan appears once again. This time Eren thinks he's ready and he charges him, but he disappears out of thin air, which adds more mystery to the story. And then we see the harsh reality that is Attack on Titan. This is not some dreamland where you train for a bit and then you're just gonna be great and overpowered at everything. That's not how this works. You gotta wake up to reality, and that's exactly what happened here. Everybody in the squad gets absolutely massacred, and Armin almost dies, but Eren saves him, and we see Eren get ate by a Titan. Now, luckily for Eren, he actually had the power of the Attack Titan, but I love this scene right here, these scenes right here, because it wakes you up to the reality. If Eren was just a normal person here, his story would have been done. It doesn't matter how determined you are. This is reality. We then find out that there's this crazy Titan roaming around, which comes to find out to be Eren. And then they have this plan to seal the hole in the wall with the boulder using his new powers. And can I talk about 1 second about how quick they are to just want to kill Eren? I mean, even when they have the cannons pointing at him and they're saying, don't lie to me, this and that, like, they're not really even interrogating. They're just trying to kill him. That's all. That's what this guy's goal was. It was to kill him because he's scared. I mean, if there's anything you learned from this series, it's that Attack on Titan's military is probably the most incompetent military and government there is known to humankind. I don't think they did one thing right in this whole series, and we'll see more of that later on. But they have this plan for Eren to seal the hole in the wall. The plan ends up failing the first time. We get some emotional scenes where Armin has to connect with him and wake up Eren, and then Eren sets off on this goal to seal the wall, and he accomplishes it. And at that point, we're introduced to more important characters. Hanj, Levi, all the e-girls are drooling. I mean, this is amazing stuff here. And then we get to the absolute pitfall, right? If you thought everything about this series was amazing, unfortunately all of that ends now. Because when they take Eren to this prison and he sits on trial after meeting Erwin, the government is so unbelievably competent, it is honestly hard to watch. It is really hard to watch because they just want to kill him. Hold on for a second. Let's think about this logically, right? All right, these people are supposed to be in government. They are supposed to be smart, the best among us. Attack on Titan has a military-focused government. These are the best people that raise the ranks, and their number one idea in most of these factions is to kill Eren, the guy who just helped seal the wall. How else are you gonna seal the wall? I mean, we learn later about the philosophy of the Fritz family and all of this, but come on. Let's look at this situation for what it is. How else are you going to seal the wall? People who didn't even know about this stuff were trying to kill the man just because he could transform into a Titan. He helped. You think he's working against the people who just kicked a hole in the wall by plugging it up to try to gain your trust, to have this 2000 IQ play to... I mean, come on now. Let's be realistic. You're trying to put him to death instead of using him. If you had any sort of brains, you put the man on chains and make him try to seal the other wall. And fortunately for them, Erwin or Levi beat up Eren. I didn't even know what this scene was for. All right, this made me mad. E-girl's probably drooling over Levi's aggressive. Look how aggressive he is. A 5'3" man who's super. Come on now. Come on, this was unneeded aggression. Eren was stating the facts right here, right? And I know this was all for show because of Erwin and Levi, and that was their plan. But come on now. They didn't realize the consequences of their actions until at the end of this series. That's what I'm going to say right now. Eren remembered this stuff. This incompetent government that was doing everything against. He remembered this stuff. Come on now. He remembered these people. And we see that later. We see that later. And Eren is taken as a prisoner, you could say, of the scout. He joins the scouts. He joins Levi's squad, right? And he has a deeper conversation with Hanj about wanting for him to test things with these Titans. Now, this is where some screws get thrown, or nuts get thrown into here. Because I've been thinking about it, I've been trying to figure out why exactly Annie killed the captive titans that Hanj had. I've been thinking about it. Maybe they wanted the Eldian spinal fluid. Maybe she was trying to put up some type of conspiracy, but it never really made any sense. Why didn't she just free them and have them kill a bunch of people instead, which would have led to them ultimately dying? It would have done more damage to the actual Eldians here. I mean, that would have been a smarter idea. I don't really understand why that was done, but I guess it was done to add more mystique to the story, as they have done before. But moving on to the 57th expedition. I really liked the first part of this expedition, because this is where we're introduced to even more demonizing, ruthless. I mean, when we saw Annie and her Titan form the female Titan, come on right now, that was intimidating. The scene where she went up to Armin and she turned him, took off his hood to see his face, I was getting chills. She looks so intimidating. You want to talk about good female characters done right? You have it right here. She had me shaking in my boots, right? Watching this scene. She looked extremely intimidating. And then she just went on to massacre absolutely everybody with no trouble whatsoever. But some important details here also made Armin realize her identity, which he didn't pick up on until later. Armin is, we'll expand more on him. But we just see people die left and right. I mean, this is reality. This ain't no fairy tale. This ain't no One Piece. People are dying, and when they die, they don't come back. Eventually, Levi's squad leads Annie into the forest because she is chasing Eren, and this is another scene that I find absolutely integral here, because Eren is faced with a difficult decision here, because Annie is chasing them and absolutely massacring everybody who tries to protect them. And everybody in the squad doesn't know what's happening. Eren thinks everybody knows what's happening because their experience. Come to find out, everybody's having a panic attack. They are more panicked than Eren is. So Eren needs to make a decision here. Does he transform into a Titan and fight Annie, or does he just trust in whatever Captain Erwin has planned? Levi is not being responsive until he finally says that it's up to Eren to make the decision that he'll regret the least. They don't have the ability to control him, so it's up to him to make the decision that he will regret the least. And he trusts Captain Erwin, and it doesn't turn out like you think it does. A lot of times when this happens in any sort of media where they say just trust any sort of story, it almost always ends up working out in the end. But in Attack on Titan's case, people just kept on dying. And you could say it worked out because they temporarily caught the female Titan, but she ultimately escaped and ended up killing even more people, leaving even more mystery behind. They didn't even figure out who was in the female Titan. And don't even get me started on the absolute pacing here, okay? It felt like when Levi was saying keep trusting the plan, whatever, when people were, it felt like an eternity, an absolute eternity. They tried to stretch these episodes out to the fullest. I mean, the first episode, Attack on Titan, was so fast paced, so many different things happening. If you compare that to these episodes are like stretched out. Like they're repeating the same moment over and over and over and over again. I feel like I was in a loop or something. But after Annie escapes, she goes after Eren. She uses a diversion, which was amazing, of shooting up a signal and tricking Levi's squad. So clever, bro. I love Annie at this stage. So clever. She shoots up a flare, attracts Levi's remaining squad members, and brutally murders them. I mean, I was feeling for some of these characters. They were talking about their good times, having fun moments together. Boom, dead. Boom, dead. Boom, dead. And at this point, Eren's like, I'm done trusting. Of course, I'm done trusting. Everybody died around me. Trust what? Trust in death? So he turns into a Titan. And this is another, I mean, this anime is amazing in its display of martial arts here. That's what I had to say. Annie is a Muay Thai specialist, and you can see this by her her weaving, her strikes she throws, how she's dodging Aaron's punches. I mean, if anything, Attack on Titan has some of the best martial arts I've probably seen here, because we have Eren who's unskilled just throwing haymakers at Annie, and she easily sees them coming because if you throw haymakers, it's pretty easy to see. So she sees them coming, weaves, wait until he's tired out, and boom, kicks his head off and captures him. Absolutely amazing. I mean, she's definitely skilled in martial arts. But unfortunately for Annie, Levi is enraged. All right, all the e-girls are starting to get a little bit this is what they replay this episode every now and then on repeat. It's their daily Bible verse, you could say. But Levi is enraged, and unlike Eren, who gets enraged and turns into this frantic creature who's not really a threat, when Levi gets enraged, this guy's a threat. He's a cold stone killer. A killer. This is the person you don't want to make mad. He may be 5'3", 5'4", but you enrage him, he might as well be 7 feet tall. This man is a straight up killer. And this is what he shows. Absolutely dismantles Annie and takes Eren away, no problem. Goated. Fast forward to the end of the season. Armin knew who Annie was before by her taking Marco's equipment. Once again, don't know why she did that. There was a lot of different options for her. They try to trap her, and she turns into this weird character. I'm not gonna lie. This was a person. I think that they wanted to make her look out to be a psychopath or something, but it didn't really feel right. It didn't feel like Annie, because she's always been like down to earth, and I guess you could say this is like her defining moment. But we would find out later that that's not really Annie. That's not Annie. But they try to trap her. Eren, all of them fail, and they're underground, and Eren has trouble turning into a Titan because he can't believe that Annie was actually a Titan. And I don't understand this, because we're shown so far to this point that Eren holds a deep resentment for anybody that kills his friends or anyone close to him. So he should have absolutely no struggle turning into a Titan. But he has struggle here. In fact, he has struggled to the point where he almost dies. He almost dies rather than fighting Annie. This is ridiculous. But eventually he gets some balls and turns into a Titan and fights Annie and ultimately wins. I don't know how he improved so much to the point where he is beating Annie at this stage. Luckily for him, all of his scout members probably helped win him that battle. But he defeats Annie, and right before he's about to capture her, he hesitates. And I have a problem with this as well, because how did you turn into a Titan if you were hesitating to begin with and you couldn't turn into one, but after you turn into one, you're still hesitating? Don't you have to be resolved? Was he not truly resolved? Then how did he turn into a Titan? That's the question. But he defeats Annie, and that is the end of the season. Attack on Titan Season 1 is truly peak anime in the beginning. I mean, this series started off with some heat. We see Eren's mother get ate right in front of him. We see the manifestation of his anger towards these Titans, towards the people that wronged him, of pure hatred, and him having to live through it and overcome struggles to finally get to the point where he's able to pay back these Titans for what they did to him in Season 1. And it finalizes off with him taking down one of the arch enemies, Annie, and they captured her. I mean, Season 1 is truly amazing. I think in the beginning of Season 1, it was at its peak towards the middle, and then towards the end, it felt like they were stretching out the episodes a little bit too much. But Season 1 of Attack on Titan is definitely one of the better seasons, if not the best season of Attack on Titan. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for similar videos in the future. I will see you in the next video.